What's up, everyone? Southside Braves here, and welcome to the Week 3 Gridiron Update, the NFL talk show that I do here on the channel, where I talk about the previous week, give you my power rankings, and look ahead to the upcoming week's games. So, right off the bat, we're going to talk a little bit about Week 2. I talk in depth about games that I actually got to see from start to finish. Unfortunately, I played softball on Thursday night, so I didn't see last week's Thursday night game. I played softball on Sunday night, so I didn't get to watch Sunday night game. And during the day on Sunday, I always watch Red Zone, which if you don't know what that is, it's awesome. You get to see all the important plays of every game going on. They flip you back and forth. But I don't see the entire game of any of them, so I'm not going to break down any of the noon or 3 o'clock games Central Time, that window from Sunday. So really the only game I got to see from start to finish is the one I'm going to see every single week, and that's the Steelers game. So we're going to talk a little bit here about Steelers-Browns. As a Steeler fan, I don't know if I've ever felt as bad after a win as I did this one. Right now, this team looks like, how far can a team go with only playing one side of the ball? Because right now, we might as well punt on first down every drive. Because it is 1,000% our defense trying to single-handedly win games. And that they did that this week. The defense outscored the offense and won this game. The offense did everything in their power to lose this game, and TJ Watt and that defense came through and won the game. As far as the Browns side of it goes, I mean, it's hard to watch. I have still not seen the view of it that they say is real bad, but the Nick Chubb injury absolutely changed the game so much. Just watching that Browns offense was completely different once Nick Chubb left the game. It's unfortunate. I hope that's not the end of his career. I know he had a scary injury like this in college, so I've never heard anything but good things about Nick Chubb, so I really hope the best for him, and I hope he is able to come back from it. But obviously that was a massive moment in the game. Neither offense looked good. Neither offensive line looked good. Both of them were absolutely getting blown up by the opposite defensive line. So this was definitely especially the way it started off, too, a very sloppy game. Focused around defenses. So, final score of the game, by the way, was 22-26 Steelers. So again, we did get the win, but I did not feel good about it, and I do not feel good about where this team's at right now. The Acrisure Stadium crowd chanting "Fire Canada" during it, the offensive coordinator for the Steelers. And I don't know how he's lasted this long. I don't think we'll fire him mid-season. I think he'll finish out this year, and then we'll move on next year, hopefully. But the whole Matt Canada tenure has been very rough. At first, it was, Ben Roethlisberger is old. He limits what Matt Canada can call. Okay, fine. Then we get Trubisky, and he should be more athletic, younger, and you should be able to open up the offense more. Didn't look great. So we move on to Pickett. It started off terrible. Showed some promise late in the year, so we're like, okay, year 2 of Pickett. This is Canada's offense. This is the time for it to work. And 2 weeks in, it looks awful. Just absolutely terrible. Yeah, and I'm a big Najee fan. I love Najee Harris. When we drafted him, I thought, yes, this is a Steeler running back. I'm so pumped for this. But Jalen Warren needs to be the starter now. The offense looks better with him behind Pickett. He's able to produce more. He picked up some crucial third downs for us in this game. Jalen Warren needs to be the starter, not Najee Harris. And the offense needs to learn how to do something here. We have weapons. Even if Jalen Warren or Najee, we got backs. We got Freiermuth at tight end. We got, even without Deontay Johnson, who's hurt, we have George Pickens, obviously. Allen Robinson can make plays. I love what I've seen out of Calvin Austin 2 weeks in. I love that kid. So there's weapons and plays to be made, and this offense needs to do it if we want to go anywhere this year. Because right now we're trying to win with defense alone. And I like our defense, but that's putting a lot on them. So that's the one game I got to see. Steelers improved to 1-1. Browns fall to 1-1. Tied for second in the AFC North. So the rest of my picks that I had last week ended with a record of 9-7. So a game worse than I did week 1. And again, if you want to not count the Thursday night game, because I did post the video afterwards, that's fine. If you want to count me as 8-7, that's fine. I would have picked the Eagles, but I mean, it's not like this is for anything anyways. But in my head, I went 9-7 last week, so that's where we're at. 10-6 week 1. So right now we are 2 weeks in. We are at 19-13 with our picks. So let's take a look at how I have the power rankings shaking out for headed into week 3. Our bottom quadrant here, same 8 teams as the bottom last week, just kind of flipped around a little bit. Cardinals stay at 32. I thought they were the worst team coming in. They've shown promise. They were actually winning that game for large portions of it. But moral victories don't count here. You're going to stay at 32 until you can win a game. Arizona will be my 32nd ranked team until they have a win. Houston falls 1 spot to 31. There's a battle between them and Indy, 2 of the bottom teams for me, and they lost it, so they get that second to worst spot now. The Bears, fall 2 spots to number 30, and all the issues and concerns I just said about Pickett and the Steelers offense, the Bears feel the same way. Hate their play calling, worried that Justin Fields isn't the guy. He's looked terrible. Like I said, Pickett's looked awful, and I'm upset with that, but Fields looked just as bad, if not worse. So they are going to fall to number 30. Panthers lose a close one on Monday Night Football. They're going to just stay put at 29. Raiders got absolutely run out of the building by the Bills, so they're going to fall 3 spots to 28. Colts looked decent, especially when Anthony Richardson was healthy at the beginning of that game. He rushed for 2 touchdowns. I actually like what I saw from them early. They beat the Texans fairly easily, so they're going to climb 4 spots to 27. The Rams do lose a close game with the Niners that they looked pretty good in for a lot of it. So they're going to just stay put at 26 for me. And the Giants are lucky to be climbing 2 spots to 25. They were getting blown out by the Arizona Cardinals. Made a late comeback to win that game. They started off the season giving up 60 unanswered points. 60. They got blown out 40-0 in week 1, and they were down 20-0 to the Cardinals. So they're going to stay in this bottom quadrant, but they will climb 2 spots because they did win. Moving on to the top of the bottom, as we'll call it, the top half of the bottom half of the league. Patriots, once again, they're 0-2, but they've kind of looked decent in both games. I wish, as much as I hate the Patriots, I wish that last play would have been a first down for them. The Hunter Henry lateral to the lineman who just couldn't quite get there. That was fun, but they didn't get the first down, so they did lose. They're going to set at 24. 23, the team that disappoints me more than any team in the league constantly. Looked terrible. We're getting blown out. Then came back, hit the Hail Mary, and then didn't get the benefit of a call on an obvious pass interference on the 2-point conversion to tie it. But there's problems in Denver. Sean Payton and Russ isn't working so far. They need to get that figured out quickly if they want to do anything this year. They're going to fall 3 spots to 23. Seahawks pick up a good win against the Lions. They're going to climb 1 to 22. Titans picked up a very impressive win over the Chargers. Got them climbing 1 spot to 21. Steelers, like I said, the defense was impressive. The offense was not. They will also climb 1 spot to number 20. Packers looked good for a lot of the game, but lost late to the Saints. Gave up a double-digit fourth quarter comeback, which you never want to do. So they're going to fall 3 spots to number 19 here. Falcons, the team that came up back against them and got the win, will be right above them at 18. Commanders climb 1 to number 17. That defensive line for the Commanders looks real strong. So we're going to move on now. The bottom of the top. The bottom half of our top teams. I'm going to be honest. Who knows? Especially once we get to the top teams here. It's a jumbled mess. You can kind of, especially like top 10, you can kind of throw a dart at a board and put them where you want. I think this group kind of fits that too. Like I said, there were some big wins and some big losses here, and I got to move in 1 spot because I don't know. We're at the early part of the season where who knows who anyone is yet. But the Buccaneers are 2-0. They did beat the Bears, who don't look good. But the Buccaneers will climb 1 spot to number 16, find themselves in the top half now. Vikings, who are 0-2, fall 1. They lost to the Eagles on Thursday Night Football. Sorry for the yawn. Bengals very much in the same boat. Another team that we expected to be pretty good. Them and the Vikings both 0-2 though, so they'll also fall one more spot to number 14. Could have fallen further, but I think I kind of took care of most of their fall last week. A little excessive, so only one spot this week. The Jets, I gave them benefit of doubt, let them stay put last week after losing Rodgers, but we saw what the team looks like without Rodgers this week, so they do fall 7 spots, our biggest drop of any team in the league this week, and they fall to number 13. 12, 11, and 10, we're just going to stay put. All of them lost games, all close games, but they're all just going to stay put right now. Lions at 12, Browns at 11, Jaguars at 10. Yeah, all 3 of them losing to decent competition. Jaguars playing the best of the competition there in the Chiefs. The Browns and Lions both playing teams that have hope, but haven't looked all that great. Playing the Steelers and the Seahawks, and they both picked up losses. So 10, 11, and 12 will stay put. The Saints, my Super Bowl winner prediction, I have climbing 6 spots to number 9. The biggest jump of the week. They're 2-0. And I don't think Derek Carr and that offense have got it going yet. And I think there's potential there. I think the defenses look good. Alvin Kamara's on the way back here in a couple weeks. I'm telling you, I like this Saints team a lot. Moving on now to the top 8. Chargers lose. They're actually 0-2 now, but still in my top 8. I still believe the Chargers are very talented. They've lost... What was the stat I saw? Their offense has scored 58 points in 2 weeks. 58 points in 2 weeks and haven't turned the ball over, and they're 0-2. 58 points in 2 weeks and you haven't committed a turnover. You should at least be 1-1. But they are 0-2, but they're going to stay in my top 8 here. I do move the Ravens up to number 7. They climbed 2 spots after beating the division rival Bengals. Let the Bengals come back a little bit there late. Burrow and Chase and them got it going a little bit late in the second half, but too little too late. The Ravens pick up the win, and they climb into this top quadrant here at number 7. Bills have a huge bounce-back performance, blowing out the Raiders after a very lackluster week 1 for them. So they're going to climb 1 spot to number 6. They look like they might have figured it out. I did say last week that game was going to go one of 2 ways. I predicted the Raiders to upset the Bills, but I did say if the Bills win, they were going to blow them out, and that's exactly what we saw. Top 5 are all going to stay put. All 5 of them win. Not going to change anything about them. I think those are, in my opinion, those are definitely your top 5 teams in the league, without a doubt. Like I said, you can see where I have everyone ranked. But in some order, those should be your top 5. I don't really see who else you could have in there. I think maybe if you were to have somebody else in there, it'd probably be the Ravens, actually, I think, would be most deserving top 5 over the Bills. But in my opinion, those are clearly your top 5. You can throw a dart at a board and pick what order you want the 5 in. But Eagles, Niners, Cowboys, Dolphins, Chiefs, I think are your top 5 teams in the league. Like I said, yeah, Ravens over Chiefs maybe could be your other top 5. They are at least 2-0, whereas Bills and Chiefs both have a loss. But I respect the Chiefs too much to knock them out of the top 5 yet. So these are your rankings. Cowboys have looked the most impressive. They have 2 blowout wins, but I'm not ready to have them jump the Eagles or Niners yet. So yeah, these are your top 8 teams. Those are my power rankings. So let's take a look ahead to the week 3 matchups. All right, so first off, before I get too far into doing the matchups here, I just wanted to say I did try to adjust the logos a little bit. I've seen in other videos that it kind of cuts off the edge of the logo. Hopefully this will fix it. I'm not sure why it's doing that. So either way, I mean, it's not a huge deal. It's just the logo. You can tell what team it is. But hopefully this fixes it. So that being said, let's take a look at the games here. First off, we have Thursday Night Football, Giants versus Niners. Giants were very, very, very lucky to even come away with a win last week. They started the game down 20-0 against arguably the worst team in the league. Whereas the Niners were in more of a dogfight against the Rams than they expected to be. But they did get the win. They still look like a pretty dominant team in the league. And I don't expect that to change this week. Niners are going to pick up the win at home here. And I think this will be a fairly easy one. I do think Thursday games can be a little bit more weird, it being a short week for these teams. But I am picking the Niners to win this one in a little bit of a blowout fashion against the Giants. I think the Giants team has a lot of problems, especially if Saquon's out. So Niners win this one on Thursday night. Next up, we have Titans at Browns. Battle 2 1-1 teams here. Titans picked up a very good win against the Chargers, whereas the Browns not only picked up the loss against the Steelers, but also lost Nick Chubb, which is just massive. You can see how that offense changed once he left. So without him here, this is going to be tough for them. I don't think the offense was spectacular with him, and I think without him, it's really, really going to sputter. So I'm actually going to pick the Titans to win this one. Titans 2-1 after 3 weeks. Yeah, not really what I expected. I didn't expect the Titans to be very good this year, but I think the Browns' season ended last week with the injury to Nick Chubb. So that is that one. Titans going into Cleveland and picking up the win. Next up on Sunday, we have Falcons at Lions. The 2-0 Falcons versus everyone's favorite team this year, the Lions, who did drop one to Seattle last week. Yeah, like I said, Falcons are 2-0, but I don't know. I'm not a believer in the Falcons. Every year there's a 2-0 team somewhere that's, or at least one that's a pretender. I think the Falcons are a little bit of a pretender. I think they have a chance in that division. I don't think the division's very good, but I'm not buying them as a threat to most teams yet. I do still think the Lions are pretty good. I think they let one slip away against Seattle, but I do think they bounce back this week. Whoops. Let me fix that. Lions win. They bounce back this week, and they pick up the win against the Falcons at home, and they give the Falcons their first loss of the season. I do like watching the Falcons. I don't know, something about them. I do enjoy watching them, but I don't think they're a threat to some of the top teams in the league. And I think the Lions are capable of being one of those teams. So that's how that game goes. Next up, we have Saints at Packers. Saints 2-0, my Super Bowl champion pick. I'm going to be riding with them all year. Packers looked good for a lot of games, specifically Jordan Love. Jordan Love's really impressed 2 weeks in, but they did let it get away. They gave up a double-digit comeback late against those Falcons. So this is where I'm going to pick my Super Bowl champ to actually get their first loss. I don't think they go into Lambeau and win. Like I said, I've been impressed with Jordan Love. I think he'll have a third good game. I think they'll hold on to this one. I do think the Saints' offense needs to get going a little bit. The defense has been playing really well, and Derek Carr and the offense has done enough when needed, but they haven't played 2 very strong teams yet. So I would love to see them go into Lambeau and win, but I'm not picking it. I'm picking Green Bay and Jordan Love to pick up the win here and give the Saints their first loss of the year. Next up, we got Broncos at Dolphins. And I'm going to, real quick, before I even talk about it, before I convince myself otherwise, let's do this. Dolphins win this one at home. They're the better team. I'm tired of the Broncos breaking my heart every time I pick them, every time I think they're going to have a good year. I'm done. Sean Payton and Russ, they have some problems. All is not good in Denver land right now. The Broncos, they're going to win this week because I picked them to lose, but I don't see any outcome where they go in Miami and win this game. I think they have too many problems. The Dolphins have looked too good. So, yeah, I wanted to throw up the win-loss before I talked myself out of it. Dolphins pick up the win in Miami. So, next up on the docket of Sunday games, we have the Chargers at Vikings. Okay. 2 0-2 teams that expected to be pretty good this year. 2 teams that I expected to be pretty good this year, specifically the Chargers. The Vikings I thought would be okay to good. The Chargers I expected to be good to great. So, disappointed in both these teams. Vikings do have the longer week ahead of this game, having played on Thursday last week. And I think the extra preparation will help. And they're at home. I'm picking the Vikings to win this. Which this one hurts too. The Chargers being 0-3 is rough. Definitely not what I would have said going into the year. I think they're the better team. I think the Chargers are the better team, but like I said, extra days off for the Vikings at home. I'm going to say the Vikings are the first one to get a win between these two, and the Chargers are still searching next week. All right, next up on the docket is the Patriots at the Jets. Okay. I'm going to be honest, this is the first one I'm struggling with a little bit here. All the others I felt pretty good right off the bat. That's who I want to go with. I've been impressed by the Patriots 2 weeks in, but they're still 0-2. The Jets looked really good week 1 defensively. That offense hasn't done anything with Zach Wilson. They're obviously missing Aaron Rodgers. Not many years can I predict the Patriots to go 0-3, though. That would be nice. I'm going to say Zach Wilson turns this around a little bit. He has a good game, not a great game, but he has his best game of the year, which, again, is not hard to do. He has not played well in the first 2. But him and Garrett Wilson get it going a little bit. Sorry, my cat's sneezing. Bless you, Wilma. Yeah, Zach Wilson and the Jets get it going a little bit offensively. Their defense still carries the load. And I'm going to say, yeah, that they win against the Patriots. And yeah, the Jets are going to improve to 2-1. I do have them going to the Super Bowl on the AFC side, so they are going to need to still win some games. Again, I don't know if I believe that without Rodgers, but I'm going to keep saying it. And I don't think the Patriots are as good as they've looked the first 2 weeks. Like I said, they're 0-2, but I thought they played 2 good games, and I think they're going to fall off a little bit. So we're going to go Jets win at home against the Patriots. All right, who we got next? Next up, we got Bills at Commanders. Okay. Bills looked impressive last week. Bills looked impressive. I've been real impressed with Washington's defensive line specifically. Has looked good. Washington is 2-0. Bills are 1-1. I really want to pick Washington to win this at home. But I doubted the Bills last week, and they blew out the Raiders. And I don't believe in Sam Howell yet. I can't see Sam Howell winning a duel against Josh Allen, unless Josh Allen throws 4 or 5 picks, which we've seen him do before. So that's a possibility. But I'm going to say Bills go into Washington, and they pick up the win. Yeah, I don't think they lay another egg. I think Buffalo plays well in this one, and they give Washington their first loss of the year. I don't know why I'm so against Buffalo this year, but I'm picking them here, but it doesn't feel right. But we're going to go Buffalo to win this game. All right, next up on the docket here, we got the Houston Texans going to the Jacksonville Jaguars. If Houston was going to be decent this year at all, I think they had to show it last week, and they didn't. I thought Indy was their chance to win a game early in the year, and they let me down. So I don't think they go into Jacksonville and win this one. Jacksonville also laid a bit of an egg against Kansas City. That offense didn't do anything in that matchup. Kansas City gave them chances to win, and Jacksonville didn't take it. But Jacksonville is just flat out the more talented team here. So of the two teams, who do I trust more to have a bounce-back game? It's definitely the Jaguars. So that's where we're going with this one. Jaguars bounce back after that Chiefs game, and they pick up the win here at home against Houston. All right, next up, we got Colts at Ravens. I liked watching the Colts play last week for the quarter plus that they had Anthony Richardson. At the point of recording this, I don't know what his status is for the upcoming week. I know he was in concussion protocol. Don't know if he's playing or not. Ravens have looked impressive 2 weeks in. They talked all offseason about this new revamped offense. And I don't know. It's looked good. I don't think it's looked great. But as a team, they have played great. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know why I'm trying to justify picking the Colts here, because I'm not going to do it. I think the Ravens win this at home. I put them in the top 10 in the power rankings this week, and I think they defend that spot here, and they put it on the Colts a little bit. So. Sorry, getting notifications that are bothering me. All right, next up, Panthers at Seahawks. Seahawks picked up a nice, exciting win last week over the Lions. Panthers lost on Monday Night Football and didn't look overly impressive doing it. And I believe Bryce Young's out as well. So, not only are they not playing well, but they're also missing their quarterback. And it's in Seattle playing the 12th man. Everything about this is screaming Seattle win easily here. So, that's what I'm going with. Yeah, a young Panthers team without their quarterback going into Seattle and winning does not sound likely to me. So I'm going to say Seattle bounces back from the week 1 loss with back-to-back wins, and they improved to 2-1. And Panthers, I believe, fall to 0-3. So, next game. We have Bears going to the Chiefs. And I know I've said it in a couple of these games, I don't expect it to be close. I don't know of anyone that would expect this game to be close. The Bears and Justin Fields have looked terrible. Justin Fields calling out his coaches this week. Apparently they've reconciled their differences and they're hugging and stuff. Great, cool. You can love each other, all that. Your team's not good enough to win this game. There's no way. Like, I haven't been playing that Eliminator Challenge on ESPN this season. But if I was, this is a great Eliminator Challenge game to pick. There is no way Kansas City lets Justin Fields and the Bears come into Kansas City and beat them. And like I said, I know they're having more wide receiver issues at practice. Some guys are banged up. I don't care. You have Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, you win this football game. Unless Taylor Swift comes and rips Travis Kelce off the field mid-game, there's no way that the Bears can win this football game. Even without Kelce, I think Mahomes wins this game without him. But this is absolutely Chiefs by 20. So, that's that game. Moving on. Next up, we have Cowboys at Cardinals. The team I've had ranked 32nd all year versus the team that's looked the most dominant 2 weeks in. And I'm not going to go against what I've seen so far. This is straight up my eyeballs tell me one thing, and I'm going to go with it. The Cowboys have looked very good. I am actually recording this part of the video a little bit later than the first part. So I recorded the power rankings, started doing the matchups, and I was real tired in that, so I kind of stopped and decided to record this next day. So I will tell you, this is Thursday right now, about 2 hours before Thursday Night Football starts. When I'm recording this, I don't know when I'm going to get it out. Hopefully either right before Thursday Night Football or during it. But I'm recording this, like I said, about 5:48 right now. And Trayvon Diggs is done for the year. And I think they've lost their center. So the Cowboys do have some injury problems as of right now, which if I would have done this last night, I wouldn't have known this yet. But Trayvon Diggs is out for the year, which does suck for them. But I think they still win this game. I think that's fairly irrelevant to this game. But it is not irrelevant to the Cowboys season. It sucks them not having him. But they pick up this win and improve to 3-0 either way. Next up, we have Sunday Night Football. Steelers back on prime time. The offense everyone wants to see. I don't know why I keep clicking the wrong one. Also, why is the fixing the win thing? It was too far over. Sorry if that bugged everyone else. Little things like that would bug me. So, in the rest of the matchup, sorry if that did bother you. But Steelers pick up the win here. As I said, I'm going to say that every single week. This is their first road game of the year. So let's talk about it a little bit. Back-to-back primetime games for the Steelers. And that offense has looked as anemic as an offense can look. Like, they are awful. They're like 31 in yards, 32nd in efficiency, 32nd in QBR, I believe. Like, they are bottom of the barrel in every offensive stat you can come up with. Crowds chanting "Fire Canada" last week. Like, the defense can't win this game entirely by itself. The offense needs to help a little bit, please. Yeah, I mean, if I'm being unbiased, I think the Raiders probably have the... I don't know. It's in Vegas. They looked terrible last week against Buffalo, too. This has potential to be a fairly lackluster primetime game. Hopefully that's not true. Hopefully my Steelers come out and look like we did in the preseason, look like what people thought we could be, and we improved to 2-1 and fix some things. My confidence level of that happening is not extremely high. It's been very frustrating watching this team 2 weeks in, but we are at least 1-1. Hopefully we win this and we get to 2-1. But yeah, I think it's time for Jaylen Warren to be the starter in the backfield. The offensive line needs to play better. Kenny Pickett needs to throw the ball on target, and Matt Canada needs to call the right plays. So if all that happens, we'll be good. So yeah. Moving on to Monday Night Football, we got another doubleheader this week. The first of the Monday night games, Eagles at Buccaneers. Buccaneers, another one of these surprising 2-0 teams. Even as a Steeler fan, I've always, for his NFL career, I mean, even college, like, I want to like Baker Mayfield. I think he got a raw deal in Cleveland. I think he was their best quarterback they've had in decades, and they shipped him out for Deshaun Watson, who looks terrible. So I'm kind of on Baker's side, and I think he's been okay so far for the Bucs. Not great, but he's been okay, and they're 2-0. So I'm rooting for Baker in the Buccaneers. But I think my number one team in the power rankings, the Eagles, continue to win. I know a lot of people think they haven't looked all that sharp this year. But, like, if you look at the numbers, like, the fact that these... Like, look at last week's offensive numbers. And you tell me that's not a good game. Like, the expectations for the Eagles are so high. Like, they're an extremely good football team. And they are going to go into Tampa and pick up this win. One of these teams will no longer be undefeated. And I think the defending NFC champs knock off the Buccaneers. And the Eagles will continue to 3-0. So, last game of the week is between the Rams and Bengals. So, the Rams sitting at 1-1, Bengals 0-2, and kind of a bad 0-2. I mean, all 0-2s are bad, but they got blown out week 1 by Cleveland. They lost a divisional game to the Ravens, so they're 0-2 in both games being in the division. So, the Bengals need this win badly. I said that week 3 games aren't usually that important. The Bengals can't fall to 0-3, already being 0-2 in the division. Like, they need to win this. And I think they'll do just that. The Rams looked good last week, though, against the Niners. I might be wrong about the Rams. I have them very poorly ranked. I don't think they're very good. But they've looked pretty good 2 weeks in. I could very much be wrong about them. And they could beat Cincinnati here. And I hope they do. As a Steeler fan, I cannot tell you how much I hope LA goes into Cincinnati and dominates them. That would be awesome. I don't see it happening. I think Joe Burrow and the Bengals finally get this thing figured out. I think they figured out some things in the second half last week against Baltimore. They played better in the second half. I think we're going to see kind of more of the Bengals team we expected to see all year here. And they're going to pick up the win here against the Rams and get their first win of the season. And the Rams are going to fall to 1-2. But yeah, like I said, I hope I'm wrong. Hope the Rams go in there and dominate them. So that is going to be it for the matchups this week. I guess I'll just leave that up there while I finish up. So yeah, we talked about last week's games I got to see. We talked about my picks last week, power rankings, and then matchups for all the games and my picks. Like I said, if you're interested, please feel free to leave your picks down in the comments. I'd love to see how other people do. Let me know anything else you want to see added to these videos. Anything you disagree with, power rankings, anything you think I'm way off on, I'd love to hear. I like hearing people's opinions of who should be higher, who should be lower, who's ranked just right. Because if you look at power rankings, especially right now, anywhere, ESPN, CBS Sports, NFL.com, any of them, they're so vastly different right now. Doing power rankings right now is insane. Like, there's so many teams that we don't know what we got yet. So I'm curious what you guys think of the teams 2 weeks in. And yeah, I think that's all I got. If you did enjoy this, please do like and subscribe to both the channel and the video. I would really appreciate it. Trying to get up to 100 subscribers. I'll have a special stream when that happens. So I'm trying to make the push to get there. And yeah, that's all I got. Hope you all have a good day and a good night. And I'll catch you in a future video. Bye, guys.